Hello, hi, how are you? So recently, I've been going through life, and life have been going through me in a very, how can I call it, amazing way that so many things keep unfolding and keep on unfolding. It's like onions, when you peel a layer of onion, there's another layer, and you peel another layer, then it's another layer. That's how life is. And a lot of time that I thought I was right, I discovered I was wrong. And sometimes when I thought I was right, I was actually right. And knowing these things just make me realize how human we are, and that means how much mistakes we can actually make without even knowing we are making mistakes. Especially if you are someone that you know believe in everything that you think, your own thought is like the superior, you are going to follow this scenario, this situation more often. And to be honest, right, I will advise you not to believe everything that comes into your head. It's good to trust your own instincts, but don't put your emotions into your judgment, especially when you are dealing with people, family, friends, like people in general. Though, like I said, sometimes I thought I was right, but I was wrong. But sometimes, when I said I was right, eventually there was, this confirmation that said, okay, yes, I was really right. But on the period whereby the thing that we thought was right, and later you found out was wrong, how do you handle those things? How do you handle those scenarios? If it is friendship, if it's relationship with family that has been broken, how do you get back to it? You know, well, the first thing is to forgive yourself because you're a human being. You know, we say this thing a lot as a form of excuse, but to be honest, right? If you are on a path whereby you can, you know, tell yourself, be honest with yourself that I was wrong, then it's a different story entirely. Because a lot of people will be like, okay, why can't you change? Why can't you do this? Like, I'm only human. This is who I am. This is who I am is different from I'm human being. Human being make mistakes, but this is who I am means like you are not ready for changes. So as human being that you are, you make mistakes, you misjudge situations and circumstances. But now that you've realized that you made mistakes, just forgive yourself first. There are some relationships, for example, family, you know, family is always going to be there anyway. But there are some relationships that you cannot rebuild or amend. And those relationships that you can't rebuild or amend, the only way for you to survive is to realize that I was wrong and admit it and forgive yourself for that thing, whatever thing it is that you did. There's no need to be macho or masculine about things. Admittance is the first step to healing. when you admit you're wrong, it's the first step to healing. It doesn't matter if you try to communicate with the person or not. But firstly, admit it that I was very, very wrong. And then take steps toward, amending those mistakes. But like I said, there are some mistakes that cannot be amended. When some bricks are broken, they are burnt. There's nothing you can do about it. So I don't know what's happening in my eyes. I've been feeling this for like days now. So I hope you get better. So I've been taking some home remedies to make it better. Anyway. So yes, another thing that I've learned so much is that we are all going through things through life, and through the process of going through life, we always feel like our own situation is way difficult than every other person else. That nobody is going through this life the way we are going through this life. Nobody can see the pressure, the trouble that we are going through. But that's a lie. You see, that's another lie that we tell ourselves. And when these things are happening, we isolate ourselves, isolate ourselves from family, isolate ourselves from friends. Some people even end relationships for these things. But that's a lie. Because we feel like, okay, I'm going to go in, I'm going to isolate, and I'm going to figure my things out, and I'm going to come back. Well, my dear, I know a lot of podcasts, a lot of books I've told you about, isolate, come back better, do this one and that. But the main thing I want you to have in your mind is that this thought of, let me get my shit together, then I'm going to come back to the people that matters. I want you to know that the people that matters, those things that you're trying to get together, it doesn't matter to them. What matters to them is you. You yourself, just you. Are you alive? Are you fine? Are you happy? Not, do you have money? Are you progressing? Have you bought a car? Do you have, not that. They just want you to be happy. And happiness doesn't cost, well, I don't want to say happiness doesn't cost a thing. But happiness is not a destination. It's a journey. It's a journey that there's no end to it. And when you realize that happiness is a journey, even the good times or the bad times, it's going to feel like the same to you. Because during good time, we have good feeling, we feel good. When things are going wrong, we feel bad. It's just feelings. But what if you can rewire in your head that, okay, this bad period that I am right now, oh God, I see what you are doing for me. Oh, you want me to lock in? Okay, good. There's a difference between locking in, when you lock in, and when you isolate. When you lock in, it means you have a goal. You have a task that you've put either in your tab or in your mind that you're going to achieve or attain at some period of time, that is you locking in. It could be a career, it could be learning, it could be anything that makes you a better person for you and the people around you. That's you locking. But when you isolate, that means mentally you have created a barrier. You have created a form of wall that I don't want to reach people. I don't want people to reach me. It's just going to be me in this world. It's not good. That's being selfish. That's being selfish for the people that truly, genuinely care for us and care about us. So today, those two things that I've talked about are, what I want to share with you. The first one is accept that you are wrong and forgive yourself. Awareness is the first key to healing. And being, being able to say, I'm wrong, I'm wrong about me thinking this way. Because sometimes in life, we really, really do hurt so many people with the way we think just because we are being emotional, with our feelings, with our thoughts. And secondly, don't isolate yourself. No matter what you're going through in life, don't isolate yourself. There are people who want to see you, things that you felt matters did not matter to them. And for those people, just always show up, always check up. Don't create a wall. If you are going to lock in, then lock in, but don't build a wall around you. Because people truly, genuinely loves you. Remember that. People truly, genuinely loves you. And when those people reach out, be very happy to communicate with them. Because no one can do this life alone. No one can do this life alone. We need people around us. We need people. No one is useless. Okay? If you feel like someone hurts you, forgive them. Forgive them. Let it go. Genuinely. And that's the only way you can truly forgive yourself. Because sometimes you might think people really hurt you or harm you. And at the end of the day, you realize that you forgiving them is just literally you forgiving yourself. Because you feel better. Now you don't have to hold grudges. Understand? Even when you try to maybe someone have been trying to, keep in contact, let me keep in contact with them as well. And they are not even giving you that chance. At least you know in your mind that, okay, good, I'm forgiving you. Because if you didn't forgive, why would we want to keep in contact in the first place? So yes, please. I hope you're able to learn something from today's, and I'll see you in my next video. Enjoy this rodeo. Peace.